My name is Dr. Carrie Swanson. I'm a teaching fellow in science education at the University of Waikato. Mantle of the Expert is a drama-based teaching approach that was designed and developed by the late Professor Dorothy Heathcote. In it, students learn about curricular knowledge positioned as expert members of a company or ethical team, and through a commission from a fictional client, they actually learn curricular subjects. In my study, I was working with students aged between 11 and 13, and they were commissioned as expert scientists, and they were re-investigating the sinking of the Wahine. The Wahine was a boat that sunk in Wellington Harbour in 1968 with the loss of 51 lives. So they're looking at the science behind that. So we're bringing out buoyancy, stability, extreme weather.
And then in the classroom you need to build belief. And it's quite difficult to actually set that up. So we had a notice board, we watched a DVD about the sinking, taken on the news, and all of these things built belief. And we talked about how we positioned the students as experts. So when you're working in Mantle of the Expert, you're working in very much a collegial frame. So we're learning together, we're exploring science together. And these types of things actually help us to work. And we're finding a problem. So we were trying to figure out, there was a purpose to our learning, how can we support people who've been on the boat or felt that they didn't get the right science information. So we built up our belief, we took on roles, someone might have been a physicist involved in this company, and although we used drama techniques, we also then brought in experiments, just basic buoyancy experiments, as in what floats, what sinks, and even some slightly more complex ones about free surface effect, and working through those, but through a scenario. And in this case, we had a scientist who wasn't doing his job properly, so we had to replace him. We actually started to have a reason for learning the science. And at the end, the students so they've gone through all this, they had to write a report saying, well actually, in their view, and taking the scientific evidence from their experiments and the knowledge that they picked up about the actual sinking, what they thought caused the disaster. So they were actually involved in talking about the science that they'd done. They were justifying it. They were putting together quite a strong argument as to what the reasons were, and we were also talking a little bit about how you'd stop this disaster running. I would like to sort of tell you a little bit about how this research was structured. It was a mixed method approach. I did use pre and post assessments for my science people, and then I conducted interviews with both the teacher and 8 students, which is approximately a third of the class, and they were interviewed in pairs, and that was at the end of the unit. The teacher was 3 times. There were 22 sessions that I spent in the classroom for 90 minutes each approximately. So it was a fair period of time. I co-taught with the classroom teacher. Although I planned the vast majority of this study, we actually micro-planned together. We thought what's working, what's not working, and I'd talk a bit, she'd talk a bit. So we'd all be working, and we even assessed together. So that was working through.
Why would you want to use this in your class? Well, let's take it from a science perspective first. The students learned science, and drama can actually help them learn science. So they started off by using everyday words to describe science concept, and at the end of the unit there were more people using words like density and buoyancy, and they were also starting to get a better understanding of the actual science concepts. Now, they weren't exactly perfect. Some of them only moved part of the way, but that's positive because it takes lots of time to actually make a change in your science understanding. So that was a good thing. Another good thing was the fact that they gained an awareness of science and society. So we may not have actually got them all wanting to go off and become scientists, but science was actually an important part of society, that it's in everything, even hairdressing. So these were some of the things that we were able to bring out through working in this way.